It's hard to make sense. We don't know what's real. We don't know what isn't. We don't know if we can trust the information that we're getting that's in front of our eyes. We don't know if we can trust the people that are around us. Do they have
Right.
our best interests at heart? How do we make sense of the world? Religion provided a pretty good tool for that. And I'm not sure whether it's possible to be a cultural Christian or a cultural Muslim or a cultural Jew. I wonder how important the belief bit is to the religion bit.
Do you pray?
I meditate, which is as close as you're going to get. What do you mean?
Want to try prayer?
Sure.
Well, I mean, what prayers move you?
I don't know enough. I mean, I took my mum to Ripon Cathedral on Christmas Eve, and we went through a full service of 90 minutes with 13, 14, 15 hymns and a bunch of prayers in between. A lot of Christmas trees and decoration and stuff. But I think that would have been the first time that I would have heard something like that since primary school, since I was 11 or 10.
Yeah. Is there religious music that moves you? See, you have the major scale as the centerpiece of Western music.
Do you need a guitar?
We're okay. Wait, do you have a guitar?
We have a guitar. Can we get the guitar? Come on. We need to be able to hear this.
Principal reason for bringing out a guitar would be to stop me from singing, which I think is an excellent idea.
Okay, well, hey.
No, but look, I can't sing and I can't play the guitar. I enjoy doing it, so the internet can...
There you go. Well, look, this is a full-size one. Last time we gave you one that made you look like you were a giant.
Okay. So if you just take the major scale, right? That's not really music. But try just the descending major scale. What is that to you?
It sounds like Mary Had a Little Lamb or something similar.
Now what is it?
Where do I know that tune from? What is that?
Joy to the world, the Lord has come. Right now, if you take a different scale, right, and you go, the blues scale, right, it's a little bit meaner. So you can ask the same question. If I do the descending scale, you know, what is that? It's like the intro from Messing with the Kid. Or it's close to Sunshine of Your Love. Right? So is a descending scale music? Not much, but when it's made music by pausing or by emphasis, one of the great tunes of Western civilization is created, Joy to the World, you know. My feeling about it is that song should move you. And all of these religious songs, they mean something. You know, I was in a train going from Bulgaria to Kiev, and there were all of these Siberian miners. I brought my harmonica, and they had a transistor radio, and at some point the radio gives out, and then they want to drink and dance because this is their holiday. And they started getting really rowdy, and I realized I had the ability to make music, so I pulled a harmonica out. I started playing some blues, and everybody's dancing and having a great time. And they're like, more, Minoga, Minoga, whatever. And I'm paralyzed. I don't have that much of a repertoire on the harmonica. And the one thing I could do was I start playing Jewish songs. And this woman comes up to me and grabs me by my lapel and says, you know, in Russian, where do you know this from? Where do you, like, I'm realizing that I'm in an anti-Semitic environment, I think. And I've got a Siberian miner who recognizes that I'm playing Jewish music. And I'm terrified. I'm paralyzed. I don't say anything. I pretend that I can't understand her in Russian. And she reaches into her bosom and she pulls out a giant Star of David. Right? And like, she's just looking me in the eyes like, I know you, you know me. There's a way in which religious music is incredibly powerful and prayer is incredibly powerful. And I think we're afraid to pray. You know, you say this in terms of meditation. We're afraid to submit to something bigger than ourselves, to use the programming that we have that that makes us feel.
There's something that feels disingenuous about praying if you don't believe. There's a line from Dan Brown's Angels and Demons, the movie. Tom Hanks is speaking to the Camerlengo, and he's trying to get access to the Vatican archives. He wants to get down there to work out some secret that was left that he needs to find out who's killing everybody. The Camerlengo asks him, played by Ewan McGregor, he says, do you believe, Professor? And he starts giving some politician's answer where he skirts around the question. He says, I didn't ask that. I asked if you believed. He looks him straight in the eyes and he says, faith is a gift that I'm yet to be given.
I don't believe it. We all have the gift of faith. What we don't have is the ability to sustain it. We don't have the ability to import it into all quadrants of our minds. Look, I'm saying that I'm an atheist. I don't believe in the stories about the deity. But that's not constant. You flit in and out. You know, Mike, do you believe in Ray Charles? I do. Do you? No, I'm sort of joking. But if I think about What Did I Say by Ray Charles, why was that song so powerful? He's basically bringing Saturday night and Sunday morning together, right? There's a religious sort of gospel choral aspect to it. And he's got the Raylettes in the background echoing him. He goes, and they go, he goes, oh. That's satanic grunting going on Saturday night, right? And then you're going to show up in church and you're going to turn it into something else. Ray Charles was scandalous because he fused the secular and the sacred, the profane and the sacred. Do you believe in the devil? One of the, you know the song Crossroads by Robert Johnson?
Nope.
Well, I can't.
Let's see if you do.
I don't know that I could do a Robert Johnson, it would be country blue, but like if this were an electric guitar, you probably know. I went down to the crossroads, tried to flag myself around. Went down the crossroads, tried to flag myself around. And all good people They just pass me by. He's talking about going to the crossroads to bargain for his soul. He wants to learn how to play the guitar. And that's powerful because you have this myth, the devil goes down to Georgia, or you go to the crossroads to gain something in a Faustian bargain. How are you going to believe that with no Lord? You're going to screw yourself out of the ability to listen to folklore, to mythology, to great literature. And that makes me sad. It's like, are you making a point of saying that you can't understand the religious person? We need churches and mandirs and masjids and synagogues. And we need them to behave non-psychopathically. And you can't hate on the psychopathy. And divorce yourself from the power, the power of the word and of song and of communal prayer and harmony.
It's something I'm wistful for. I'm wistful for a belief that I never had, in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a particular Latin church. Chase, can you grab this big guitarlele for me, please? One of the quickest growing denominations, I think, of church attendance in America is this thing that's all in Latin.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about this?
No.
I can't remember what it is, and it's growing massively in a young age demographic, under 30 or something. And the whole thing's in Latin.
Which can be awesome, right?
Well, I'm wondering...
Vatican II may have been a kind of a big mistake.
How so?
Because when you're forced to actually contend with what the words are in a modern context, they don't have the power that they sometimes have as a spell.
Well, it's difficult to switch off a very particular type of critical, vigilant, analytical mind when what you're looking to try and do is allow the experience to wash over you. So perhaps, not being it, unless you're fluent in Latin, being able to just enjoy the experience and just maybe that is most of what you're trying to, maybe that's most of what religious service was doing. Maybe it wasn't really anything to do with the words.
Very often it isn't. I mean, it depends, So we're actually meeting on Shabbat. I shouldn't have traveled here. We shouldn't be using electronic devices, but I'm not a practicing Jew at that level. But I think about what we say over the wine when we pray, We have this thing where we begin, Vayhi erev vayivoker yom hashishi, vayhulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'kol tziva'am, vayhalaluim b'yom hashvi'i melakto asher asa. Like, this is the sound of Jewish prayer, right? And then you're thinking about what it says, and it's very moving to me, because what it is it's taken directly out of Genesis. Vayhi erev vayhi voker yom hashishi, and it was evening and it was morning the sixth day, right? And yom is day and shishi is six, and erev is evening and boker is morning. So you know what the words mean, and you're actually recapitulating God's shifting from work to rest. So as you come to understand what the words mean, it's not destroyed by knowledge. You know that old song, "By the Rivers of Babylon"? That's related to the grace that we say after meals. These are references that matter. And I think people are shocked. They don't know how much of their life comes from Scripture. You know, you have a round of firings at a company. Somebody says, I can read the writing on the wall. Well, do you know that that's Daniel 5:25? Do you know what the wall says? I think many tekel ufarsin, you know, you've been measured and found wanting, your lands will be distributed to the Persians or something like that. You know, these are incredibly powerful references that we live with. You know, you think about the birds. To everything turn. It's Peter Seeger song. There is a season and a time and a purpose under heaven. It's Ecclesiastes. You think about Jimi Hendrix going off about 2 riders were approaching and the wind began to howl. It's Isaiah. Where are you? Where are you with the power of the word? Are you afraid to welcome it in? Are you worried that you'll lose your atheism? What are those 2 riders approaching? They come with news. That's the fall of Babylon. Who are the joker and the thief in that song? I believe they're on either side of Christ, being crucified. Religion is interested in you whether or not you give a shit. It knows about you and it finds its way into every aspect of your life. And if you're going to be an honest atheist, you have to admit that.